Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is subreddit marketing secrets for OnlyFans. All right, so Reddit is a great place to advertise your OnlyFans, and it's totally free. So the hard part is navigating subreddits and getting noticed in an endless sea of posts. In this episode, we'll discuss subreddits and how to utilize them to gain more followers on your OnlyFans. Okay, so what is a subreddit? So if you're not familiar, a subreddit is a unique community within Reddit itself. So think of it as a Facebook group where people follow things they are interested in. So some subreddits are text-based, like something like Ask Reddit, and some are picture-based, like memes, for instance. So within the site Reddit, there are r/. So it would be like r/OnlyFans for people who are interested in OnlyFans. So each part of Reddit is a subreddit. So Reddit itself can have a homepage, and if someone basically goes on every day and subscribes to specific subreddits, they will see the top posts for that subreddit in their feed. Now, in their main feed, they'll see every single post if it's set up that way. But on their homepage, they would just see perhaps top posts for that feed. That's how top posts end up getting a lot more interaction because they end up being seen for people who just basically have, it as their homepage and aren't necessarily doing the whole feed concept where they're sitting on there and things are just popping up. People also sort subreddits. So you can sort a subreddit by many different categories, including hottest, top, etc. So for a lot of people, they have it set to hottest, so they never see new posts. Other times people will have it set to new, so they'll see specifically new posts if they go on that particular subreddit each day. So there's a lot of ways that people can interact with different subreddits. But obviously, having a post that does well, that gets a lot of upvotes, will help you. So an upvote is basically where someone just clicks on up when they like something. So it's the equivalent of a like on another site, except for the fact that if people don't like something, they can downvote it and push it back down. So it's a little bit more democratic than a like system. And it's set up that way to keep people from, manipulating things too much. So if people see, someone has come on and liked something or upvoted something over and over again, but it's really not that popular within the community can then start to shove it down by downvoting it. Okay, so how does a subreddit operate? All right, so someone on day one created the subreddit that you're seeing and brought it into life. So Reddit did not create the subreddit. Chances are that you're seeing an individual, a person who was using Reddit, saw something that they were really interested in, that there was no subreddit for, or maybe there was a subreddit already for it, but they decided they wanted to tackle it. And so they created another subreddit and got that one to become more popular. So at this point, they became the automatic moderator or mod of that subreddit. So they then can make their own rules. So that subreddit becomes their own kingdom or queendom, however you want to look at it. It becomes theirs. Now they can bring others on to moderate as well. So they can invite other people to become moderators, and they can set up screening on what is posted. So for a lot of moderators, they set it up. Then someone will ask them, hey, can I moderate this? Because they're even more into it than someone else. and they want that kind of power. And then that person will then start to set up rules, will go through and moderate and approve posts, etc. So for many big subreddits, they have 3, 4, 5 different moderators. Some have just one. So it really just depends. So also you have some subreddits that have auto moderators. So basically someone has created something they don't want to manually manage. It got bigger than they expected, and they can set up a bot within the system that will auto-moderate what's being posted. Now, in most cases, auto-moderation leads to abuse within that subreddit, so you end up with a lot of posts on that subreddit. So you have some active mods, you have other mods that aren't, you have subreddits that can be abandoned, meaning that someone at one point was really interested in it and then just left, and now it's still a community, but you can see that there's not a lot of activity, or the activity isn't moderated. So there's a lot going on a subreddit. And so it's important to know all of this, because if you're not super familiar with Reddit, you just come on and you think, okay, every single one of these communities, must have been created by Reddit and it must be legitimate, but it's created by users. So it's like a crowdsource kind of website. Without the moderators, the entire thing falls apart. Think of it like Wikipedia, where without people who are writing the articles and doing the editing, Wikipedia would just fall apart. No one could sit there and do Wikipedia all by themselves. Very similar with Reddit. So how do you know what subreddits to market on? All right, so best practice is to join Reddit in good faith and participate in many subreddits. That's going to give you an idea of how Reddit works. So if you have not been on Reddit, or right now the only thing you're using Reddit for is promotion, I really encourage you to actually engage with Reddit and understand Reddit. Utilize it for your hobbies, for things you're interested in, engage with the community, and you will start to be able to understand how Reddit breathes, how it lives, how basically things go on within Reddit. So if you're just basically jumping on to advertise and then jumping off, it's probably not going to be effective for you, because you're not going to understand the whole rhythm of the site and how that, subreddit works. So also you will build up, and I've gone over this in previous podcasts about karma. So karma is the equivalent of points on Reddit. It's basically trust points in its own way. When people see that you have a lot of karma, they will trust you more. You gain karma from commenting and posting. So you can gain two different types of karma: comment karma and post karma. Okay, so some subreddits, why this is important is some subreddits have karma restrictions. So you have to have, say, 50, 100, 1,000 karma to post on some subreddits. You also have to have a profile age for a lot of subreddits. So that might be 30 days, it might be 5 days. It could be anything. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to prevent spam. They don't want people to spam their particular subreddit. So you want to go ahead and follow subreddits that interest you and are within your niche. So really, it's hard for me to say what your niche is. You are going to know who is going to be most interested in you. The great thing about Reddit is that it's so huge that people have created subreddits for just about everything. But keep in mind that the subreddits that are active are the ones that you actually want to post on. So much like a lot of other social sites, you can see follower numbers, but they don't mean anything. Meaning that if someone might have set up, a subreddit 2-3 years ago, got 20, 30,000 people to follow it, and now it's just dead. Now, you can obviously tell that by going in and either, looking for newest, sorting by newest, and seeing that no one has posted, especially if the moderators require approval to have a post put through, you can definitely see a community that is dead, a subreddit that no longer is active. Now, for a lot of them, if they had auto moderation on, or it just was allowing anybody to post through, you'll be able to see that too, because you'll see some post spam in there. You'll see some people who are posting things that aren't very legitimate, that aren't related to what's going on in that subreddit. Again, make sure that the subreddit that you're targeting, that you're working with, actually has people that are engaging with it. And, otherwise it's just going to be a waste of your time. Now, a great way of finding that out is to go to a site called Redditlist.com. Now, on Redditlist.com, they actually list out the most popular safe for work Reddits and not safe for work Reddits. So for a lot of OnlyFans creators, you're looking for the not safe for work subreddits. You can actually see which ones are rising as far as popularity on this website. Very helpful. And that way you're not just having, to go on to Reddit and start typing things in and saying, okay, well, I found one that's, has 1 million followers or 100,000 followers. If you go on the site, you can look at the entire list. It'll show you which ones are rising. And I'll tell you, you might even want to create your niche around what you're seeing rising on Reddit, as far as what kind of things people are getting into now, as opposed to what they were into in the past. So if you're looking specifically for new niches to get into, or you're looking to rebrand yourself for OnlyFans, you haven't had a success so far, you might look at some of these niches. And if you're comfortable with creating content that has to do with these niches, then you'll be able to be right at the forefront and get right on those subreddits with the type of pictures and content that might get people to be attracted to you. So that's a good thing. And you definitely, as I mentioned, you don't want to waste time on subreddits that don't have a lot of interaction. Okay, so how about some strategies for posting success? So some of those would be, I would join a subreddit and watch it closely. I would find out, again, the pulse of that subreddit. For a lot of people, they go on to Reddit and they just start following every single niche subreddit that has to do with them. And I say this isn't the best strategy, again, because you're not going to learn anything. You can still, post within subreddits without following them. You don't have to be following them. So, there might be some that require that. Most of them do not. You can post within without following. So I would suggest following one at a time. So if you have something that's really hitting your niche, I would just follow that one subreddit. I would unfollow everything. Heck, you can create Reddit accounts pretty easily. You might even want to just create a throwaway Reddit account, which is basically one of those accounts that people use for, to keep themselves anonymous. I would just create a throwaway one and just follow that subreddit. And what I do is I'd watch, what's happening, like what times of day, are people posting, what is getting the most engagement. And I would just be able to take that in and say, okay, what time of day should I be posting? When do posts get the most upvotes? What type of post gets the most upvotes? And I would copy the style of what you see. For a lot of people, what they do is they go and they actually copy a creator themselves that has been successful. So you can go on and click on the username, and you can look at their profile and you can see every place that they have posted. So if someone is a creator that is very similar to you in your niche, you could go through and you could start writing down, where they've found success. And big numbers don't always mean everything. So if you go into someone's profile and you're wondering, okay, well, they